Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Play Underground for Theater A Love Story, running till the end of this weekend, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. If you missed it tonight, you only have one more chance to see it, so you should go and sign up and get your tickets. They start as low as $5, and if you really want to help us out and help out everybody involved, there's an option to pay up to $30. So go ahead and make sure that you get a ticket to Theater A Love Story before it's too late. As always, Play Underground is sponsored by Joe Mock, aka Papa Fringe, and the Real Pro Team. So, as we do with every Play Underground, here is a toast to you, Joe Mock. Thank you so much. And tonight we have Emily Borst for Cookies and Cocktails. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Can we all hear me? Can we see me? Yes. Julie, confirmation. Yes. Awesome. My friend Julie is here off to the side. If you hear a mysterious voice, I'm going to try to fix this so I can see myself a little better. There we go. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be back here. If you don't know me, I'm Emily. I'm here sometimes and I bake things and I drink things and it's going to be a great time. So tonight we're going to make madeleines, which are kind of like little pound cake cookies. And then we're also going to make a drink called a Waterloo Sunset, which is a drink with like elderflower liqueur, which is very fancy. It's not that fancy. You can get it at party stores, but like elderflower liqueur sounds fancy. So you can just like throw that around to the people around you. I don't know. The first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven, because if you were here for last time, I forgot to preheat the oven. So we're going to do that now. Just so you all know, Julie is here monitoring chat.
Hi, I'll also giggle when she's funny, which is a lot.
So yes,
so
disembodied voice. She's a real person, I promise. But if you have any questions for me or comments or whatever, Julie's here. She'll keep me posted on those. So for madeleines, you actually need a special pan called a madeleine pan. Sorry, that's very bright. Oop, try not to flash it. So they kind of look like little shells, as you can see. The first time I made these, I was like 12 or so. I've had this pan for a long time because my mom.
Oh no, we lost audio from Emily and video. Well, while everything's resetting for her, I'll just tell everybody to also take a look at the No Theater merchandise page where you can download any Radio No show. Currently, we have a brand new show called A Report of Gunfire that follows a journalist through the Iraq War, and as he learns that war can be just as personal as anything else. So go ahead and check that out at notheater.com/merchandise. That is written by David J. Lohr and stars James Creaky, and it was directed by me. Hopefully, we have Emily back now. Emily?
Yes, am I here?
Yeah, there we are.
Great. I don't know when I went away, but I'm back. Hello. Just talking about madeleines. So yeah, I made these for the first time when I was in a production of Madeleine's Christmas, because my mom found out there were cookies called madeleines and decided we should make those. So we had to get a special tray for them. And from the way my mom talked about how much this tray cost, it sounded like it was $300. It was not $300. It was $14, which we actually found out earlier because the sticker is still there. But she deemed that that was too expensive for a cookie tray because we went to Williams-Sonoma, and I feel like everything is like $300 at Williams-Sonoma. If you love Williams-Sonoma, yes. I apologize. Williams-Sonoma is great though. They have a lot of free samples. Maybe not now in COVID times, but they used to. So right now I'm going to melt a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to use that to coat the pan. And then I'm going to mix that with a little flour. Another thing I've learned is that for some things, it does matter if you use good butter and good flour. I used to be of the mentality, hello, explosion. No, we're good. We're good. I used to be of the mentality that butter was butter and flour was flour, which I think for some things is true. But when you're making like pastries and stuff, sometimes it really matters if you're using like nice stuff. So I bought this like King Arthur $5 flour, which is expensive. It's a lot of money for flour, but you know, it's fine. And Kroger had a sale on nice butter. So this was only like $2. So not just for the tablespoon, for like a lot of it. But so we're going to mix a tablespoon of that with 1.5 teaspoons of flour. So we're gonna dump that in there. Got my little brush here. Mixy mix. You're gonna get a little paste. Nice buttery flour. Delicious.
Honestly.
Eat it up. Don't do that. I mean, I guess you could. It might be kind of gross. I probably shouldn't recommend that because I think you're not supposed to eat raw flour. I think it says that on the bag of flour. Which is weird. I've never had any desire to eat raw flour, but I guess someone has. I don't know. I guess someone, I mean, they probably just have to put that on there because I'm sure someone has tried to eat raw flour at some point.
Yeah. Well, it says say no. Yeah, flour is a raw ingredient. Bake fully before enjoying.
There you go.
It's a say no to raw dough, which
Say no to raw dough. I probably shouldn't recommend that either, but we all do it. Come on.
Let me get that tattooed.
Say no to raw dough. I think that sounds great. Oh my God, where were we? So one time, Julie and I and our friend Caitlin went to Chicago and we drove there. We drove through Indiana and we were somewhere in Indiana and they had 1,000 signs that said like the Las Vegas of Indiana. And I was like, what?
I don't even know where it was.
I don't know. If anyone knows where there's a lot of gambling in Indiana, let me know.
I'm pretty sure it's Muncie.
Okay, because we were joking. We were like, I want to get that tattooed. Like, it was like somebody workshopped that slogan and they were like, genius. And I was like, that's such a...
I am not 100% on any of this, but I'm going to look it up right now and figure it out.
It could be. And I thought it was very, very funny. So I'm going to go put this in the sink.
Ooh, already getting with it.
Well, Emily puts things in the sink. Go ahead and on the screen right now is Emily's Venmo. Go ahead and use that to give her a tip because she's doing this live stream tonight out of the kindness of her heart.
Thanks. And you should also give money to the No as well. I'll throw that back out there. As Zach said, they have a bunch of radio shows that you can purchase. You can also watch their current show, Theater a Love Story. You can also watch self-promo serials. My show's in serials. It's called Dommy Now. It's a Christmas show, and it's real cute. Julie's in it too. She kind of plays our Candace Cameron Bure, where she's in all our fake Christmas movies.
Right.
They also just have a donate now button, I believe. So yay, theater. Theater's great. So that butter is melting. So now we're melting 10 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use that later. So we're going to set that aside. And then we are going to beat, almost dropped an egg and that would have been bad. We're going to beat together 2 eggs, half a cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. So going to dump that on in here. Speaking of theater, Julie and I were just watching the Sondheim 80th birthday concert from like 10 years ago, which is great. I've been on a kick where, oh no, my lamp, no, one moment, we're good, we're back, hello. Gotta have my light. Been on a kick where I'm trying to watch like a musical once a week because I have been missing musical theater because my degree is musical theater. I love all theater, but musicals really speak to my heart.
Uh-oh, we lost Emily again. That's one of the fun things about doing these live on the internet is you never know when the internet doesn't want to be our friend anymore. Speaking of the things that they were talking about, Serials 11 Thunder Zoom. That is going on every other week here at the No. And the final one is this Monday at 7:30 p.m. So get your tickets. And if you're worried about not being caught up in anything, there's a recap at the start of each episode. So join us again this Monday for the finale of Serials 11 Thunder Zoom.
You're good.
I apologize that my Wi-Fi is being a little wacky. I checked it before this and it was working, but obviously we're just having a little bit of a time. But that's all right. We're still here, and thanks, Zach, for jumping in. I'll check her again and make sure she's good. But yeah, I was talking about theater. I've been missing theater, so I've been watching a lot of different theater things online, and the Sondheim 80th birthday concert is delightful. And it's funny because I make fun of my dad because he really loves this Andrew Lloyd Webber birthday concert from like the 90s. And I'm like, Dad, you're so lame. You watch this concert all the time. And then I do the exact same thing with the Sondheim concert. So you know how it is. But I do recommend the Andrew Lloyd Webber birthday concert as well, because at one point a boy band sings a song and it's delightful, and they are all dressed like the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. It's very, very fun. So we're gonna beat together our eggs, our sugar, our vanilla, salt. Is there anything else in there? I don't think so. So that's mixing up for a moment here. And you're gonna try to get that nice and light and fluffy. Not like too fluffy, we're not making a meringue. You kind of just want it to be all nice and mixed in there. So that's where we're at. But yeah, the Note has been putting on a lot of theater during these trying times, which has been great. Because I don't know about you guys, but I love theater. It's a huge part of my life. I've missed it, so it's nice to see it continue in whatever ways it can at the moment. Get your shots. You can get back in the theater. I mean, your COVID shots, not your shots, but you can do that too. Whatever you need. Okay, I think we're good. Yep, we're gonna say we're good. So next, I am going to sift in the flour. So I have this fun little sifter here that makes like a little noise, which I think is fun. So we're going to start putting that in here. And we want to do this nice and lightly so that it adds in an even way. Kind of folding it in. We're going to fold in the butter later, a la Schitt's Creek, where I'm going to yell at Julie. I'm kidding. That's not what's going to happen. Or
I don't know how to fold it in.
Just fold it
What do you
in.
mean?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Schitt's Creek is a great show,
It's
guys.
so
Come
good.
on, it won all the awards of everything recently. So yeah, sifting flour is also something I kind of didn't believe in for a little while, but it's definitely a thing. There's a lot of baking things I'm always like, that sounds fake, and then it's real. Like nice flour and nice butter. But they are real and they do matter, but I would say they do matter sometimes. Because if you're just like making chocolate chip cookies that you're just gonna shove in your face, who cares? Do whatever you want, make it work. So that's gonna mix in there for a second. And you wanna add the flour slowly so that you like don't overwhelm the batter because it'll be so shy. No, it won't be shy. It'll just do its own thing. So now I'm just pushing down the flour on the side and I definitely just threw a little flour everywhere. But you know, it's 10 o'clock at night, my dude.
I get a little
And I'm a
messy
little
in the
tired.
kitchen.
There we go. But yeah, so Julie and I we watched a Sondheim concert, and then I showed her, if you guys are not aware of this, it's very annoying that Jake Gyllenhaal is as talented as he is, because I showed her clips of when he was in Sunday in the Park with George. If you have not looked up Jake Gyllenhaal singing Finishing the Hat, it will make you angry, because this man is like a great actor, he's very handsome, and he's a great singer. And I'm like, what do you leave some for the rest of us, Jake Gyllenhaal? What do you even mean? But he's very, very good. I like to force my friends to just watch YouTube videos of performances that I like. One time I just fast forwarded through A New Argentina from Evita, and I was like, listen to Patti LuPone, Julie. And it was like 11 o'clock at night, and she was like, I don't know what you're trying to show me. And I was like, listen to her.
Always worth it.
That's what being my friend is like. It's a lot of that. Sometimes I show people foreign musicals. Germany has a great musical theater scene, guys. I'm just throwing it out there. There's subtitles. It's cool. It's cool. We're doing great. I'm going to tilt this down just a tad. Hello. It's a whole new world.
I was literally in my car with my mom the other day telling her about it because she asked who sang Total Eclipse. And I was like, fun fact,
Did you know
mother.
there was a German musical about vampires and Total Eclipse of the Heart is the love theme? Yes, there is. If you would like to know more, DM me. And I'll introduce you
She's
to
got
my
a whole
husband.
PowerPoint.
I will get you in. And then what else? What else have I been watching a lot lately? Julie and I love Lauren Patton singing You Ought to Know and Jagged Little Pill. Also great. Would recommend. Oh, so many good performances in this world, and they just make me so happy. Like the performances at the No Theater. Sorry, they're not telling me to do this. I'm just doing it. But it is great, and they are great, and I love them. So you should definitely see things there, and also see serials. Wink, wink. Vote for us. Wink, wink. Because I'm here, I'm gonna self-promo, because that's how you get ahead in this world, ladies. And gents, probably, but you have it easier. I'm Alrighty, so the flour is getting mixed in there. She's looking good. She's going. I know you can't see it, but I'm gonna tell you, it's going great. It's really.
Just lift your laptop.
I don't know why I'm talking.
Bring
in
it
your
over.
voice. Would you like to come and look in the bowl with me? I am gonna tilt you back. Okie dokie. Artichoke. So I'm gonna move some of this stuff to the sink. I don't want to look at it anymore. So now it's at the sink. Ugh. And then I get that all mixed in. I was going to think about, because theater, a love story, makes me think about different things I love about the theater. And I think, one thing that I have, kind of miss is just like going there and the camaraderie. But I also really love theaters where they are arranged in such a way that you can watch the audience, because I do think that's very, very fun. So I'm from Louisville, and Louisville's Actors Theater does a production of Dracula every year. And it's really, really a great time. And it's in like a theater in the round, so you can see the people on the other side. And the first time I saw it with my mom, who's a big scaredy cat. And so we're sitting there. Luckily, a girl I know from doing shows is sitting like right across from us, and we saw it in the lobby. She was like, I've seen it before. So we're watching her to gauge like what's gonna happen. So anytime we saw her tensing, we were like, oh shit, what is gonna happen? And anytime she would tense, something insane was about to happen. So we were like, oh no. And then at one point in the show, because my mom kept being like, is something gonna jump out behind us, Emily? And I was like, Mom, I've also not been to see this. I don't know. And then she's like, is something gonna jump out? And at one point I was just like, no, Mom, nothing's gonna jump out behind us. Well, then something did jump out behind us. And she was like, you said. And I was like, Mother, I've also not been here. That was fun. We love the theater.
This is a good production too.
There was also a time at Playhouse in the Park my dad and I saw In the Heights a couple years ago. And I was watching this one lady who was so into the show, and spoiler alert, something very sad happens in Act 2 right after like a big bop of a number. And to watch this lady go from like, yes, 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 to like instant tears was like a play in and of itself. In the same theater, Julie and I saw Jane Eyre.
We saw twice.
We saw twice.
So
It was really good. And during the second time we saw it, our friend Caitlin was there with another friend, and we were sitting like across from her. So I kept looking at Caitlin to be like, Caitlin, do you also love it as much as we love it? I need you to love it as much as we love. That's a lot of a relationship. It really is. Speaking of Jagged Little Pill. So I showed another one of my friends, Lauren Patton's You Ought to Know, which is an amazing performance. Mm-hmm. Everyone should watch it. Mm-hmm. Well, I showed it to one of my friends, and she definitely was not as into it as I was. And she was just like, yeah, she's a good singer. And I was like, but look at her power. Look at her. And she was like, okay. So that is also sometimes the reaction when you share your art with people. But you know that's the risk you run, and that's okay. So right now what I'm doing, if you're like, Emily, what the heck is happening? I'm slowly pouring in butter and I'm folding it in. I am folding in the cheese. It's not cheese. That's a Schitt's Creek joke. Once again, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Schitt's Creek. It's great. So we're folding that in. I'm trying to think of some of my other fave theater memories. At the No, Julie and I actually saw Puffs a couple of years ago, which was a really great time. And I think they could sense that we two were also theater people, or it was the fact we were decked in Harry Potter regalia. Who could say? But they did keep messing with us in the audience, which was really fun because I always try to be receptive to that, because as someone that acts myself, I know sometimes it can be hard doing like interactive theater. So I'm always like trying to be gung-ho and be a real team player. And if you do that, they will mess with you. But if you like that, it's fun. But that was a good time. Mm-hmm. I'm a weirdo that likes interactive theater. I know some people are like really not about that.
Stay away from me.
And the No's been doing a great job with that, doing it all virtually interactive theater. Ooh, not virtually, virtually interactive. But I think stuff like that is fun. Like I love the Great Comet musical. I think is a great time.
When it's done right, it's so good.
Yes. Because sometimes people do it and it's weird. Like I don't think you should do an interactive show that's like a big old bummer, because that might be weird for people. I forgot what company it was, but some company in like London was offering like a 6-hour production of, it was like some Greek show. And it was just 2 actors, and they were only letting like 4 people in the audience, and it was 6 hours and you couldn't leave. And I was like, no, that's not for me. Oh, I forgot. We're gonna zest in a little bit. So take a moment. We're taking a moment for Tiny Grater. Everyone appreciate Tiny Grater. Throw it out to Tiny Grater in the chat.
So cute.
Tiny Grater is very, very precious. I love Tiny Grater. For the longest time, Tiny Grater was the only grater that I owned. And then I was like, this is not practical for any uses. So I got an actual real, adult-sized grater. And I use that for most things, but tiny grater is great for zesting. So we add a little lemon flair. Ooh. And so we get a nice sponge here, as they would say on the Great British Bake Off. Oh my God, speaking of which, I was gonna text you about this, Julie, because I got like legitimately mad. I saw some article on like one of the blogs I read about like, this forgotten cake was a favorite of George Washington's. And it was a literal like Victoria sponge that they make on Great British, where it's like a sponge cake, jam, the like cream, and then a sponge. And I was like, that's not a forgotten cake. That's just not a cake we make in America. Like what?
Boy, does it look delicious.
It looks yummy. It looks like it might be a hassle, but that's most cakes. I kind of feel like cakes are a hassle.
Cakes are always a hassle.
I don't make a lot of cakes just because I feel like they take forever. But then I make croissants, so I don't really know what my logic is. But
Croissants are take and go. It's like
I
you
love
can't slice it and then
bread.
like take it.
That's true. Bread is my deep passion. I would do a bread baking tutorial with you guys, but that would take many hours, and I'm not sure if anyone wants that. If you would like a 4-hour live stream of me making bread, be sure to let the know theater know. I'm sure I could find something to talk about. But what else?
Crosswinds are harder than cake? What's crosswinds?
Crosswinds.
That's what Caitlin said.
Croissants. Maybe
Oh,
she means
okay.
croissants. I would think.
I was like, crosswinds.
I would think that that's an autocorrect thing.
She said croissant.
We got there. We got there. I mean, crosswinds, I guess, would be difficult to bake with, as they are like an ephemeral thing.
I was like, is this some thing I don't know?
Oh no, I think I've got enough batter. She's just hiding. So the good thing about this recipe is it makes just enough batter for all of my little shells here, which is exciting. So one time you can actually buy Madeleines at Starbucks. And one time I bought them for myself and then I forgot and I shoved them in my purse. And then later that same day, I really wanted a snack and I opened my purse and there were cookies there. And it was like a little present to myself. So, you know, it's like ordering things late at night, except sometimes you're like, shit, I spent $100. Why did I do that? And then that's a different story. So these are gonna go in the oven for 9 minutes.
When is that if you bake bread, you made one earlier and you pull it out if you just made it?
Oh yes, because I thought about doing that for this, just pull like a baking show, like, wow, it's done. And then people are like, it's been 2 minutes, what? And I won't explain it. Speaking of buying things online, ooh, look at this dress. It's a tulip and it's a pocket and it also has side pockets. Been buying a lot of dresses online because I've lost control of my life, but you know what? They make me happy. And I really like them.
Little things nowadays.
It really is. Anything for that serotonin. I'm like, please.
I currently have on anime earrings. So yeah.
I lost my mind at a Lowe's last weekend because it was nice outside. I bought just like a dumb amount of plants. I was like, juniper bush, tulips, this, sunshine. I got new patio furniture. You can't see it, but it's in a box in the corner over there because I got it literally today and I have to assemble it, but that's the problem for later. These don't fit in the sink just yet, so we'll deal with that later. I'm gonna wipe the counter real quick.
Ooh,
Just
she's
cleaning
as she goes.
She's trying to.
Wow.
Honestly, having this pile over here kind of upsets me, but I don't think you guys want to watch me wash dishes for like 9 minutes. If you do, let me know. I'm kidding.
If you do, Venmo me.
Venmo me. Ooh, that might be creepy though. I don't want you to watch me for creepy reasons. I don't know.
Maybe it's soothing for some people.
I guess, like ASMR dishwasher.
Dishwasher, that exists.
It could be. Once again, I don't own a cocktail shaker, so give it up for the Anastasia cup that will be
That's what
passed
you're
down
gonna do.
to my children. Because once again, as I've said before, if you go see a show on Broadway, they charge you $75. They don't, but this was like $20. And they give you a cup. But wow, it is expensive. Expensive. Oh, other theater memories. Trying to think of. We've seen a bunch of shows, Julie.
So many. To the point where I forget that we've seen them. And
Yeah.
then you talk about them, and I'm like,
Oh my God, I have
seen
seen
that.
Like all of my memories have been like when we went to the Humana Festival.
Wow.
The Humana Festival can be a wild ride. If you don't know, that's a new play festival at Actors Theater of Louisville. And as with all art, but as with new plays specifically, some were absolutely incredible and some were like, the fuck was that?
That one girl just got thrown around.
I don't
That
even
fight
remember
choreo
what it was
awful.
about.
I can't remember, but all I know is I was angry about that
Yeah,
fight choreo.
yeah. But then also we saw some incredible shows. So you kind of never know what you're going to get, which is fun. Speaking of new plays, the No Theater does something like that, which is the Fringe Festival, and that's coming up this summer. So, woo, that's exciting. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. Yay!
Speaking of the Fringe Festival, we just announced our opening night, not our opening night, that's already been announced, our lineup announcement party, where we're going to announce the primary lineup of shows. And let me tell you, I read a majority of them, and they're all a bop. You're going to have a great time. You're going to want to know all about all these shows. So join us on April 19th at 7:30 p.m. live streaming here on Facebook, just like we are now. Isn't that crazy? Wow.
Oh.
So that's exciting. Check out some new shows. And a good thing, if you're like me and Julie, we have gotten to a point where, wow, we sure cannot watch something that's 2.5 hours. And a great thing with Fringe is that all the shows are like an hour and under. So boom, you could just marathon them. And it's not like you're settling in to watch like several 3-hour things. They're digestible. You can watch a bunch of stuff, which is nice for me because I've truly reached this point that like I gotta buckle down if it's over an hour and a half. I'm like too long.
We were trying to find a show to watch the other night, me and Nick, and literally we would look and it would be a minute over an hour 30, and I was like, I'm out.
Can't do it.
Out.
I know.
Kids shows only now.
I that's how I feel. I'm like 30-minute shows, sweet spot. Okay, so what I'm making right now is Waterloo Sunset. Mama, I Waterloo, Napoleon did surrender. Yep, I had to sing it legally. So yeah. So what you're using for this is gin, Chambord, or just any raspberry liqueur. Saint-Germain, which is actually spelled Saint Germain, which is kind of how I thought it was said, but I looked up and it is Saint-Germain, and I will only be saying it in an obnoxious French accent. I think this is the only elderflower liqueur that exists, but maybe other elderflower liqueurs exist. I'm not an expert here. And then also some champagne. So I'm making 2 of these, so quick math. So I'm going to do 2 shots of gin. Because 1 for me, 1 for Julie.
Hey, 2 shots for each. What?
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 No, we're not just doing gin shots. Not tonight.
No, ew, God.
I might be fine.
Gin shots?
I don't know. People do
That
it.
sounds
I'm
bad.
sure people take gin shots.
No, you're right. You're right.
So then it's going to be just 1 shot of our Saint-Germain, which I think it's a little unfair for them to just assume everyone knows it's pronounced like that. Back to Jane Eyre, because it makes me think of, in Jane Eyre, spoiler alert, he's her cousin, not Mr. Rochester, different guy. Her cousin is another character you meet, and his name is St. John, and it's spelled like St. John, and you're just supposed to know it's pronounced St. John. And maybe back then people just knew that that was pronounced St. John, but like, what? I hate stuff like that. I read this book series growing up called The Blue Bloods. It was about like vampires, and the main character's name is Skylar, but it was spelled like Schuyler Sisters, like in Hamilton, so it looks like it says Schuler. Well, if you're me and you're like 13, you're like, this girl's name is Schuler. And then I found out from the author, she's like, it's Skylar. I'm like, spell like Skylar. Why did you make it like this? There was some YA book I was looking up a couple days ago, and all the names were ridiculous. And I was like, I don't think I can read this. I think I'll just be mad the whole time because of the names. But that's such a trend. It doesn't happen a lot in adult books, but in YA books, everyone has like the silliest of names. And I don't know if it's like unique. Maybe just for that uniqueness of like, oh, my name is something different. And everyone's like an angel, vampire, werewolf,
It keeps
demi
getting more
dog.
ridiculous.
Okay.
I tried to read
Champagne.
some YA books, and wow, they're all have everything now.
There's a lot. There's a lot happening
Can't
in the
be
YA
vampire and
books.
werewolves. It has to be demons and angels and werewolves and
Yep. Back in the good old days of Twilight, we had vampires.
Good old
I'm
days.
kidding. Twilight has many a problem, but it's a romp. Also, champagne toast to Julie here. She got honors in her schooling. Congrats, friend. Yay, Julie. Give it up for Julie in the chat. Great. These are big old cocktails I've made for us. But,
Great, can't wait.
but ain't that the mood? So then you're supposed to pour a little bit of raspberry liqueur over the spoon, and it's supposed to make like a sunset effect. We're gonna see if it works, y'all. I'm a little suspect, but oh. Is she sunsetting? No, she's just kind of. She's a little pink. She's a little pink. So how can I ever refuse? I feel like I win when I lose. I feel like I just made us like DIY rosé or something. Waterloo.
What a fun dance that dance game.
Oh, I bet there is. Listen, Mamma Mia is a great time, as is Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. Did you know?
Kevin said a shot of gin is like taking a bite of a Christmas tree.
Listen, I'm all about that natural taste. My light. I'm sorry, I put this extension cord in a weird spot, so we're just having fun.
You do what you got.
Okay. We're gonna toast. Okay. Cookies are almost done. Boom. What timing? Toast.
I did a magic trick.
That's a good time. Oh, perfect.
I did a magic trick.
It's a good time to remind you that, there's smoke in this. Alex made a Zazarak. So neat. Good time to remind you that Play Underground is brought to you by Joe Mock in the Real Pro team. Speaking of toast, another toast to you, Joe Mock, aka Papa Fringe.
Toast.
Toast.
Woo. Woo. There we go. Woo.
Toast Zach as well. Ooh, we're just drinking.
Zach. Oh.
Yeah, gin's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about gin. Like, I kind of like gin.
Depends.
Yeah.
You gotta dress gin up. I'm not taking gin out by itself.
You're like, Gin, you gotta look nice for me.
Listen, Gin, you gotta put on some
I have high
pants first.
standards. You gotta put on some pants? I like my gin pants. These are my pickup lines. Ladies,
you're really
wink.
You're really gonna come out of quarantine fighting them all.
I really am. Listen. No, I'm kidding. I don't like talking to people. If I went to a bar and someone approached me, I'd be like, no, thank you. The audacity. Ooh, they look good. They look cute. We're going to let those cool for a second, or otherwise we're going to burn our mouths.
I'm pumped.
They're very exciting. Very exciting.
I mean, I would help regardless monitoring chat and tell you things, but also I like that I get to eat goods at the end. So
there you go. I always like making cookies and stuff for people. That was, fun fact, I'm joking. I think they actually do like me, but I joke that that's how I made all my friends in college, because I would just bring cookies and stuff to class. Because my logic is people are not going to dislike you if you're giving them cookies. And it hasn't really served me wrong. So it's a good icebreaker if you're going into a situation. No one's going to be like, why are you bringing cookies? They're always going to be very accepting and loving about the cookies. And then they're going to accept you, and it's going to be great. Also, I just realized that this drink is 100% alcohol. There is no mixer.
Oh,
and that's my
think
temperature.
about that.
Woo!
Woohoo!
We made one of these before, like a more classic Saint Germain cocktail, but it involved lemon juice. But it was like 90% alcohol.
That was a good day.
So listen, a good thing I guess about gin cocktails is, wipe you out.
Which is weird. You think they try and hide the gin flavor?
I don't know. I feel like I think gin is like schmancy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe schmancy people want to be
I
drunk.
feel like it's old. Like a lot of old cocktails have gin in it. Like back in the
day,
easier to make. But I feel like they can't be.
Do we have any gin experts in the
chat?
Yeah,
Go gin.
Does anyone make gin? Anyone?
What is gin made of?
I only know that it is made out of evergreen trees, pine needles, and things
Oh,
like
it really
that.
is?
It
Wow.
Really is. That tracks. You know.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know.
No wonder it's easy. I assume up in our northern parts.
Our northern
Our
birds?
northern parts. It's probably easier to make them.
Yeah.
Those buggers are everywhere.
They do have a lot of trees. They got a lot of those trees up north. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends.
Breaking news, we actually have a gin expert.
Oh my god!
I am here now.
Gin expert Alex Rouse.
I am not a gin expert, but gin is actually typically made from juniper berries, and it has a very piney taste because that juniper berries grow on evergreens. I don't believe it's actually made of needles. Also, Emily's perfect. E&M's Kitchen, Venmo her. Also, buy tickets to Dawn Me Now. I'm putting it in the chat.
Yeah. Alex also featured in John Me Now. Wow. I sure do like to just wrangle my friends and say, hey, be the thing that I'm doing. And most of the time they agree, which is what you need out of your friends. But yeah, that's interesting to know. I actually bought a juniper plant. Fun fact, juniper is very pretty. It's very prickly though, if you try to touch it. So I relate to juniper in a way. No,
I'm gorgeous as you can
I'm
touch
gorgeous.
me.
You touch me with a fuck. No, sorry. Ooh, swearing. I guess I probably.
I
swearing.
myself am prickly when you touch me.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's what I put on my dating profiles. I don't have dating profiles. This is a pandemic. Alrighty. So the Madelines are ready for a taste test.
Okay.
Would you like to cookie toast?
Yes,
They're
I
also a
love
little
cookie
warm,
toast.
but boop, boop.
Yeah. Try out
Well-
Jen. That's a good time.
So as you can see, because we definitely just ate them and didn't show you,
They're
they're quick little pound cakes and they're quick little shells.
super cute.
They're yummy. You can dip them in chocolate. I've also made them before. I've made pumpkin Madelines and I've made them with lavender in them. So I'm just talking with my mouth open, like a classy lady. But they're super good and they're really good if you dip them in your coffee or dip them in your tea. So I like them. If you want something that's not like super, super sweet, Madelines are delicious and they're like little cakes.
Delicious.
Yum.
Well, awesome. I think that's everything for Cookies and Cocktails with Emily Borst. I've been Zach Robinson, the Artistic and Community Relations Manager here at No Theater. And behind the scenes tonight, we had Megan Winter, our resident stage manager, and Kayla Williams on graphics, who is, oh my goodness, I had it written down and then I lost it. I'm sorry, Kayla. If Megan's listening, if she could shout it out on the mic right now, because my brain is just breaking. Anyway, design and production associate. Thank you, Megan, in the chat with the alley-oop to help me out on screen because my brain just broke for a second. Sorry to Kayla. And also big thank you to Kayla for making all the graphics that you saw tonight and making sure that they show up on time and in the chat. Once again, go to Venmo and type in Emily's name that's in the chat there and give a tip and throw it her way because she does all this from the kindness of her heart. You have one more day to see Theater A Love Story, and that goes away. It is no longer streaming. It'll be gone after tomorrow. So catch it now while you can. It was reviewed by the New York Times. Everybody's going crazy for it. You're going to love it. I've been Zach Robinson, and that's it from Play Underground, sponsored by Joe Mock and the Real Pro Team. Thanks, y'all.